This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick, what's going on?
Oh, it's like lots of stuff, but tonight we're about to get metal. God damn it!
Metal. What's this about?
Well, it's about DC's latest event series, and arguably one of their best received ones in recent memory. It's all about Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, the guys who gave us this great run on Batman, teaming up again to deliver an event series about the metals in the DC universe that have a dark, sinister purpose to them, and how Batman's great detective abilities are being used against him. So there you go. But first, just to reaffirm, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's run on Batman in the New 52 era was an unmitigated success, particularly as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you can go back and listen to my podcast about it or read what I wrote about on the various volumes. But this was a very special run, one that took a character there's been lots of great stories written about Batman, and as each great story comes up, it keeps getting harder and harder to do something new and compelling with the character. And Snyder and Capullo really found a way to do that, over the course of their run. Whether it was establishing that there was a secret society that had been living in in Gotham over all these decades, inception with the Court of Owls, bringing the Joker back to attack Batman directly with his family in the death of the family, kicking year one out of continuity and doing their own take on Batman's first year as Batman, and actually making it really, really good in Zero Year. Endgame, which is probably the one series that I think actually read better in single issue form than paperback form, which is special in of itself, but it's still definitely had its moments. And Super Heavy, where it basically just kicked Batman out of the role and gave it to Commissioner Gordon and his mecha bad pal, and it actually made it pretty impressive as well. So Snyder and Capullo have established themselves as a team supreme over the years, specifically when it comes to Batman. So when it was announced that they were going to be doing DC's latest event series in metal, I was all for it. And the end results, good. Not great, good. Metal basically Batman definitely plays a big role in this series, but it's more of a Justice League story than anything else. I mean, it starts off with the team against the ropes in Mongul's latest War World. It's and then eventually and then finding out how to defeat the latest threat posed to them. In his arena, and there's all sorts of little ultra geeky stuff in there, how Superman is being restrained through dust crushed from 1,000 red suns and all that crazy stuff. Because Snyder is all about the details. Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's kind of it's really good if you're 15. If you're older like I am, your suspension of disbelief is just that much less, but you can still see what he's going for. But the opening bits of metal basically establish that Batman's been following a thread from the different metals that have been that are key to the to the DC universe, specifically. And as the first issue makes clear, it's specifically nth metal, the metal that gives Hawkman and Hawkgirl their powers. And if you think that because of this Hawkman and Hawkgirl are going to be pretty important to the story, definitely. But also it definitely plays upon the fact that that whole feeling that Batman he knows what he knows what he's doing, but even then he has to try and solve everything himself. It's because he feels that's the best way, but he can't just quite let his fellow Justice League partners in on the deal. And that's kind of how the first two issues issues play out. It's like, and then once issue two like reaches its end, we find out that that Batman's been set up, that his great detective abilities have been used against him. Well, shit gets real because the real like crux of Metal actually it's like it has comparisons to a great issue, one of the greatest issues of Invincible. Like I talked about this like a couple podcasts back, and I mentioned there was a great issue of Invincible where like different versions of Mark Grayson were recruited from like different multiverses. Like, but these were evil versions of Mark Grayson, and they were brought forward to take over his own home universe. Now, for Metal, replace evil versions of Mark Grayson with evil versions of Batman, and yeah, now you see where this series has its has its dramatic impulse. So basically, you've got the remaining members of the Justice League fighting against evil versions of Batman who have been like who've made themselves into Doomsday, Batman who have made themselves into the God of War, Batman who have turned themselves into the Green Lantern of their sector, Batman who have found themselves corrupted by the Joker. So yeah, that's the main crux here. It's like, and it's definitely a good hook. I mean, like Snyder does a good job of laying out like the increasingly like crazy stakes as the series goes on. I mean, it's like it is something that keeps getting bigger, it's like and bigger as it goes on. But if a Metal has one weakness, it's that it falls into like that trap that like whatever the heroes do, it's like it's almost doomed to failure. It's like and it doesn't quite, and isn't until the very end they manage to try to actually triumph over the darkness that's presented against them. But that's because they have to. Otherwise, it's like that's the end of the DC universe. So there you go. But that's like they still. But overall it is entertaining. It's just probably not the it's like the big exciting epic that I had been led to believe. I mean, like Capullo's art definitely rises to the occasion of whatever crazy shit that like Snyder demands that he draw, and that's great, especially when Batman and Superman like find themselves at the Forge of Worlds and the Guardian that's like then been put against them. It's like that's definitely spectacular. So, but like I said, I don't know. It's like I probably would have been more like awed by it if I had been completely in the dark. But and just following like comics news, like that's kind of impossible. And I realize that's on me. But there's one bit in there that I kind of wish had been kept secret until the very end, because there's one character who shows up at the end of the first issue, which in this age, like there's really very few characters that you can like bring in their involvement for like the DC universe and have it count as a big fucking deal. The fact that this character shows up at the end of the first issue is a big fucking deal. I mean, Snyder apparently had to talk with the characters, the creator who this character is most associated with, basically in order to just basically get his blessing and consult with him about how this character would respond to this issue. And that's, I think this character is used pretty well, especially when he lays out the cosmology of the DC universe and how the main villain of this series, Barbatos, fits into it. And this is definitely a series that builds on a lot of shit that's been done by other creators in the DC universe, specifically Grant Morrison. So if you've read his Batman run, specifically the Return of Bruce Wayne, and you hear about all this about Barbatos, well, Snyder does his own retcon to turn Barbatos into the big bad of the series, and it works pretty well. In fact, it's probably a credit to Morrison that he building on what, because not a lot of creators try to build on what Morrison has set down, because it's usually just so damn crazy. But Snyder does, and like I think it turns out pretty well over here. In fact, when Morrison actually drops in to offer his own contribution to this series in the Wild Hunt one-off, it's like you are kind of feeling that he's like kind of like I'm rushing to catch up here. I mean, like the Wild Hunt, and I'll get into this for like when I talk about the tie-ins. It's like does kind of feel like it's like he's trying to like frame this as being important to his own multiversity series. And yeah, like that's another tie-in right here. Like this is if you've read Morrison's multiversity series, like Snyder like builds on that here as well. So when it's both a credit to Morrison that that the stuff he's set up like has led into this brilliant event series, but also the fact that he's like contributing to it in his own one shot does kind of feel like he's rushing to catch up here as well. I mean, overall, yeah, like I said, metal is good. Maybe it's like it's a lot better if you come into it completely blind. Um, but overall, it's like I said, it's a good series, and it definitely bodes well for Snyder's Justice League run. Like reading this, I can see he does have a good handle on all the characters. And also it's good to see him bring back a Martian Manhunter at a specific point, which is cool. I can tell you where Martian Manhunter comes up, and not but the fact that I've mentioned this, you'll probably be on the lookout for him and realize, oh, this is when he's going to show up. So there you go. And it's like it's a lot, and like I said, it's a lot of fun overall. It's like, and just from the little bits like from a fish, just acknowledging nervously acknowledging Aquaman as his king, or or Deathstroke, just being like the supreme troll like of the series, especially when he has to team up with Aquaman as well. It's like I said, Snyder knows how to bring out the fun of the series, and not the series, but of the DC universe in general. It's like and Capullo, is with him every step of the way. It's like, and it's like, while Snyder is going to be busy with Justice League for the foreseeable future, he and Capullo have got their Batman Last Night on Earth miniseries in the offing for DC's Black Label line. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that as well. But it's like this is the big event series, so and it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's like there are definitely several tie-ins for this series, some more key than others. In fact, I would probably argue that the two prequels issues, the Dark Days issues, the Forge and the Casting, arguably should have been included in the miniseries itself, because they outline Batman's quest to unravel this mystery involving the metals. It's of the DC universe, and basically it sets up his determination to follow this mysterious thread that he's picked up. It's to the end, no matter where it leads, and it leads to some very very disturbing places, such as a black site. It's that's hidden from Atlantis. It's to a Cadmus Labs operation that was that was destroyed, that leads him to encounter Talia al Ghul again. It's and also to basically have him lock up the Joker, only for the Joker to be let loose by Duke Thomas and Hal Jordan, who has been tasked with investigating an issue of cosmic importance by Gant, one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, to that leads him to Wayne Manor. Just all this kind of craziness that it's Dark Days does a good job of setting up the threat facing the many DC characters. It's and also showing how Batman's detective abilities can be used against him. So it's even though Metal is pretty self-contained, it's this is probably one of the more essential tie-ins. Then there's also but I also picked up the Batman Who Laughs issue, because they're all these single one-shot issues that were dedicated to exploring the origins of the various Batmen who became who acquired the abilities of the Justice League members they killed. The Batman Who Laughs is the most prominent of those in the in the events in Metal. And I figured, okay, well, I'm gonna I'd want to see how his origin turned out, and it was probably kind of disappointing. This is written by James Tynion IV with Riley Rossmo's art. Now, Tynion IV has co-written a lot of stuff with Snyder, including the Dark Days tie-in issues of this event. But Tynion IV has a weakness for genre convention. As if you've been reading my thoughts on his Detective Comics run, you'll know that I think that he's he definitely loves adhering to genre convention, even when it's like he really shouldn't be. So but with the Batman Who Laughs, it's basically revealed that Batman was pushed so far by the Joker that he was forced to kill the Joker, and by killing the Joker, he unleashed something that caused him to become like a Batman vilified by the Joker. And it's kind of like that's disappointing. I mean, it's like it's just kind of like railroading the character on a specific point. Like, hey, sure, you can just make things dire enough that Batman is gonna want to kill the Joker, and then you can these punish for his actions. But yeah, we know that's kind of be expected. Why not do something more interesting, like have Batman just try to immerse himself in the Joker's line of thinking to the point where he starts becoming the Joker. It's because he's gone so far into how the Joker thinks and all, to the point where he becomes this Batman Joker hybrid, and then it realizes that, hey, it's I'm just gonna kill the Joker because he's just redundant to parts. And that's the biggest issue with the series, that leaves me thinking that I could have written a better Batman Becomes the Joker story than Tynion IV did. Riley Rossmo's art is pretty nice, but it deserves to be series in service of a better and more interesting story. Now, more interesting is one of the times that was written by three different people, including Snyder, Tynion IV, and Joshua Williamson. That would be Batman Lost, which is essentially the story of a old Batman telling the story of his first case to his granddaughter, but at the same time, reliving different portions of his history as well, and also just realizing that there's something not right here, and I've got to find my way out of it because I'm Batman. I can't be trapped by this. It's a pretty critical story beat to the Metal miniseries that takes place. If you do pick this up, you got to read this between. It's probably best read between issues. Well, I guess 2 and 3, but you could also read it between 3 and 4 for equal impact as well. But it's also about Batman just his detective skills, just unraveling the situation that he's been placed in, and realizing that he's completely fucked by it as well. It's Lost is probably the most interesting of the tie-ins, because it presents a Batman who we don't often see, who we honestly can't see. It's in most Batman stories. So and it also goes back to I also want to talk about I also have to go back to the miniseries itself, because at some point Superman is forced to restore Batman's competence at a critical point in the series, and it's kind of that's a for all and it's that's a pretty great moment, when, because we all Batman's more resourceful, tactical thinker of it, but Superman, he's the character who inspires, and at this moment when Batman has lost all of his hope, all of his drive and dedication, it's down to Superman to restore it. And Batman Lost shows you how Batman got to that point as well, and it also offers some key bits as to how Morrison's Batman run ties into the story as well. So And there's also like the Hawkman Found tie-in issue as well, which I thought I picked up because one of the because Batman Lost said, "Hey, after you've read this story on Comixology, you should read Hawkman Found." I thought, oh, maybe I'm missing something here, especially since Hawkman, ties into a does play a pretty specific role in here. So I got it, and fuck, you don't need Hawkman Found to enjoy this story. I mean, Jeff Lemire does a decent, Hawkman against all odds story, and it's got some pretty nice art from Brian Hitch, who I think Hitch is probably realized the point where his style is probably just too ambitious and too crazy to do on a monthly basis, so he's working his best to simplify it. But still, he does some nice work here. But Hawkman Found, unless you're a really diehard Hawkman fan who wants to buy every Hawkman story, you don't need this one. It's not really relevant to Metal at all. As for the Wild Hunt, which is a story that Morrison contributed to, if you've read Morrison's Batman run and also his Multiversity run as well, yeah, you probably want to get this as well. It does feel like it's like Morrison is doing his best to craft a story that fits in to the series based on what he's written before, and it works pretty well. Is it essential to the series to the run? It's no. It's it does kind of set up the idea that there are more than 52 universes out there, but but it does kind of feel like he's playing by other people's rules. So there you go. I mean, overall, it's like I said, I guess what it comes down to is Metal is pretty self-contained, but I guess if you're gonna want to pick up to get the full experience, pick up Dark Days, The Forge and the Casting, and Batman Lost as well. Those are the most critical stories to adding additional, I guess, insight to the series. But overall, but Metal also, like I said, it's a good series that probably reads a lot better if you come into it completely blind. It's unlike I did. I mean, there's lots of good crazy fun to have in this series, and it also sets up the direction of the DC universe going forward. Maybe to the point where, hey, it's like future DC events you are going to have that same thread as Marvel events do. So that'd be nice. And if that actually is how things work out, then Snyder and Capullo deserve a lot of credit for doing that. So there you go, John. So I guess any thoughts on your end about all this?
So go out and buy it.
Well, yeah, I guess if you are really interested, if you liked Snyder and Capullo's run on Batman, absolutely. If you are committed, if you really wanted to get in on the ground floor of the direction of the DC universe, then yeah, go out and buy it.
Okay.
If you are not interested in either of those things, then maybe wait until it comes on sale in Comixology, or maybe even hits paperback. So there you go.
All right. So what are you going to talk about next time?
All right, next time I'll either be talking about the end of the current Marvel Avengers run with No Surrender, or I may be talking about the sitcom experience that walks like a serialized series in Princess Jellyfish. It depends on just how I feel. It's once or what I feel like rereading once everything arrives in the mail.
All right. We'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right. Bye.